What's up? It's Kevin Kaye from KevinKaye.com, and I'm going to fly this plane. So I'm Kevin Kaye. I'm here with my dear friend Bill Dykie from Xstream Sport Aviation, and I'm taking my first flight lesson.
Edenvale Airport. Automated weather observation 2255 Zulu. Wind calm. Temperature 24 Celsius. Dew point 15 Celsius. Altimeter 2988 inches of mercury. Remarks. Density altitude 0220.
All right, so we know the weather, so let's get moving.
And Edenvale traffic, SportStar, India Juliet Kilo Yankee, backtracking 08 for 13 departure.
So Kevin, you might notice from here, what I'm doing is I'm steering the aircraft with my feet.
Right.
Majority of the conventional type of aircraft you'll see will have a nose wheel. And that's like a tricycle, and it is controlled by our foot pedals. Now, even if it had a tail wheel, which we call tail draggers, it's the same deal. You control them with your feet.
Right.
Similar to operating some heavy machinery, where a light push of my foot will bring the plane left, and a light push of my foot will bring the plane right. All right, we're just going to wait to see if there's any airport air traffic coming in. Looks all clear.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, backtracking 13.
This is the heavy moment of anticipation. From any flight I've ever taken, you hit the runway and you're getting into position, getting ready for that takeoff.
That's right. That being said, putting on my flaps. Oh, it's a beautiful, clear day, clear evening.
Pick the perfect day.
So we're now lined up to the runway. Final check. Make sure both of our harnesses are secure.
I'm all good.
Very good. I'm good. Flaps in takeoff position. Instruments are all in the green. Plenty of fuel. We are good to go, sir.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, on the roll 13.
I'm just going to begin to accelerate the plane to full power, and I'm going to continue to drive the aircraft just like a car, but using my feet to steer. I'm not worried about the stick at this point.
Edenvale area traffic, Sierra Alpha Bravo is departing Edenvale about 10 miles to the southeast. Going over to the common frequency area, 123.075, over repeat 123.075.
And we are airborne, sir.
Unbelievable. That fast, we're this high. How high are we right now?
We're 250 feet over the ground.
Unreal.
And I'm just releasing our flaps, so now we have a clean wing.
We got to find some people so I can say, oh, the people look like ants.
Oh, give it a second.
A lot more exhilarating than Google Earth, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Now approaching 700 feet off the ground.
Unreal. At a rate of about 700 or 800 feet a minute, is that right?
Yeah, right now. Not pushing it too hard. Just taking a cruise flight, nothing crazy. And there's 1,000 feet over the ground.
Unreal. Ah, the cars look like ants.
They do.
Leaving altitude.
And where are we headed?
Right now, I think maybe it would be a good time to go towards Barrie.
Good times.
Right now I'm going to just put the nose forward of the aircraft, level it off that we're 2,000 feet above sea level.
Edenvale traffic, Echo with uniform on the backtrack 08413.
That's another aircraft we heard at the airport, just about to take off as well.
Oh, you guys have to make sure you're aware of each other.
Yep. Yeah, this time of day tends to be nice and smooth. But right now it's just approaching 7 p.m. Beautiful.
Wow. Of course, I'm terrified of heights. That helps.
Well, the funny thing is, so am I. But for some reason in an aircraft, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Unbelievable from this height. You can see just how many farmers are working to feed us every day.
Oh yeah. The real cool thing, another cool thing is you can live in an area for all your life and not realize certain things that you'll see from up in the sky.
For sure.
Like a lot of people that come up for their first time have lived in this Collingwood, Barrie, Innisfil area their whole life and had no idea. Right off to the side of me here is the Menacing Swamp, and I wouldn't even be able to guesstimate how many acres that is of just swampland, but people don't realize that we have that there.
That's right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, look at the sheer size of that compared to there's a town.
Yeah.
And look at the swamp.
Wow.
And that's, you know, when you're in that town, it feels pretty big.
That's true.
Yeah, you'd be lost in there for days if you were stuck in the middle of that.
We got a 360-degree view in here also.
That we do. What I'll do is we'll just go out to the town of Barrie and we'll do a loop and then come back. Well, now that I got the plane actually nice, straight and level, did you want to give this a try, Kev?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Right. So what you're going to want to do, since you are in that seat over there, the pilots always all pilots begin their training from the left side of the aircraft. So you're going to want to take your left hand and put your left hand gently on the control stick. Your right hand needs to be free to do writing if you have to write on a piece of paper, to adjust instruments, to play with the radio and switch stations. So that's why you want your dominant hand available for that.
Right.
Now in the case of right now, since it's your first time, I don't want you to get worried about any of the instruments because you don't really know what they do at this point.
Right.
I just want you to kind of get the sensation of what's going on right now.
It's hard not to look at the instruments.
I know. But I'll explain that in due time. Just kind of feel the stick. Feel what it's doing.
Vista traffic, it's November 172 Juliet +1. Currently in descent for 3,500 feet. We're over the town of Leaf. Left-hand orbit for rejoin.
So right now we're coming up over top of Snow Valley Ski Resort.
Wow.
It's hard to see, it's off your right here. So now that your hand's gently on the stick, I'm going to show you what it feels like to take the aircraft and begin a turn. You'll notice the movement I do on the stick is very, very small. So I'm looking right, I'm doing a nice clear head move to make sure there's no planes coming up beside us on the right. Everything looks nice and clear. And I'm just going to begin to pull the stick a little bit to the right, and you'll feel the plane start to bank.
Gosh.
Nice controlled turn. Now if I want to stop that turn, I just give a little push back to the left, and you'll see how the wings automatically want to come back to a level position.
Right.
No longer fighting it. Now that we're back level, I'm going to have to do a tiny little correction back, and there we go, we're back to level.
Right.
Conversely, if you want to do a left turn, we'll do the same thing, just a little push to the left. It begins its roll to the left.
Kusan Travis, got a Zulu, jumpers away, 13,000 feet below, ship comes for Kusan, jumpers in the air, got a Zulu descending into the scope.
Coming forward, starboard.
So did you feel what I'm doing in that control stick?
I think so. It's very subtle, but I can feel it.
It's very, very subtle. So now you're going to give it a try. Don't worry, I'm not going to...
Got a Zulu,
I'm not checking out. I'm still here with you.
Got a Zulu.
Yeah, just let you know, I'm over Lake Simcoe right now.
Roger, thank you. Sky Zulu is currently over Barrie.
Nice. Going at the field, we're going to west down,
Okay, so I'm just looking for a skydive aircraft that claims to be over Barrie at the moment.
What's down, Bill Dykie traffic, it's Northern 172 Juliet +1, we're in descent through 3000. Currently 2.5 nautical miles to the northwest of the field, and gaining circuit altitude for the join at the airport, landing in 2.5 minutes. And Barrie Springwater traffic, SportStar India, Juliet Kilo Yankee, approximately 4 miles north of the field at 2,000 feet, just doing air work.
Alright, so I just let all the other pilots in the area know that we're here so they keep an eye out for us. Alright, Kevin, so let's do this again.
Okay.
I'll let you control the aircraft. Don't worry, I won't allow you to get us into any trouble.
Okay.
Feel free to take the aircraft, turn it either left or right, move that control stick gently, and as you get more confident, you'll notice you're going to be able to do larger movements with your hand. But in the beginning, just try doing something gentle, like try a gentle turn to the left.
Okay.
Yes, notice how the aircraft's changing its position, beginning to bank. Very nice. And if you feel the bank's getting too steep, you just push back in the other direction. Very nice.
Level it back out.
How's that feel?
You got to be really subtle, but wow, it's a lot different from an Xbox, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Outside traffic, Alpha West, back is left base, runway 180.
It's different when you're taking your own life in your hands. Alright, I'll do the right too then.
Sure. You have control, so I'll let you do whatever you feel like doing.
Unbelievable.
Traffic, November 172 Juliet +1. Currently come to midfield for left-hand downwind, runway 18.
So just so you know, you have done that entire turn. My hand was not on that control stick at all.
There we go. See, I can fly a plane.
Traffic Ultralight India Kilo Hotel Yankee is 1 mile southwest over the racetrack.
How's that feeling so far?
Oh, I love it. I'm anxious to turn over there and get back closer to Barrie. We'll see what
Sure,
happens.
let's go for it.
Are those guys done?
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay. It's tough for me to understand the radio.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, that comes in time. Generally, it takes people about 10 hours to be immersed in aviation to start really getting that understanding of the radio communications. And the good thing is it's not something you need to learn overnight. It takes time, you practice at home.
Mr. Traffic, November 172 Juliet +1, left-hand downwind, runway 18 for the low approach, midfield join for the circuit.
So let's turn off in that direction to the right. We'll go to the city of Barrie. Very nice. Look at this guy. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Sure, you could probably turn sharper than that, but
That's fine. You're supposed to
my stomach tells me the limit.
turn to your comfort limit. That's right.
Unbelievable.
Billy Bishop traffic, November 172 Juliet +1, left-hand base, runway 18. For the low approach, left of the runway, it'll be a midfield joint for the circuit, full stop.
Oh, we picked a beautiful evening to do this. Right now we have 0 wind to deal with.
Approaching altitude.
Essentially dead calm up here right now.
You know from here Barrie better than I do. Are we headed right in, straight?
Yeah. I'll wait till these guys are done talking.
Join for the circuit, full stop.
So just to get you oriented a bit, right up ahead of us here, you can see there's a water tower. That's located on Bayfield Street where the Georgian Mall is.
Right.
If you're familiar with it. Across the road from that, essentially, is Paul Sadlin Motors. And you can see this here is Bayfield Street.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Off in the distance, you may see going from left to right is Highway 400.
Much different angle than I'm used to.
Oh yeah.
Must be nice doing this every day.
Traffic, November 172, Juliet +1. We're
Absolutely.
Going for left-hand downwind, runway 18, full stop.
Well, the cool thing nowadays, almost anybody can do it. It's so affordable. It's not like the old days where you would think flying is a rich person's sport. It used to be that way. But you can get yourself into a license to fly an aircraft like this, usually about $4,500.
Wow.
$4,000. An average person who's really committed and wants to learn could pull it off in that.
Wow. See, now the truth of the matter is Bill and I have known each other for a very, very long time. And we've talked briefly about this kind of stuff. And as soon as he said, yeah, of course you can fly for under $100. That's crazy. We see signs all over Toronto.
November 172, Juliet +1, left-hand beam, runway 18, full stop.
They say you can drive a Ferrari for $99.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I can fly a plane for less than I can drive a Ferrari?
Yeah.
Then I think I'm going to have to do it.
Well, I could do a 20-minute flight lesson for $55.
Yeah.
In a half hour, $89. An hour is what I'd recommend, because that really gives somebody the opportunity to really fly the aircraft. We can pick a destination they want to go to.
Right.
Fly over a familiar, house, cottage, a fishing hole that they go to, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere that's familiar. People like to see that from the sky.
Definitely.
And the cool thing is it's a whole instruction the entire time.
Yeah.
So you're getting to fly the aircraft, not just taking a ride.
Right.
And so right now we're directly over top of Ann Street in Barrie and the Highway 400 directly below us.
Unbelievable. Oh, look at how clear it is when I'm not on it, of course.
Exactly. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting up here on Friday evenings.
Gorgeous. Boats are out.
Yeah.
People are swimming. Unreal.
But you're flying.
That's true. It is true. We should timestamp it and mention this is the summer of 2017.
Yep.
When we're talking about prices, I want to look back at this video 20 years from now and see how were we flying for $55?
You do plenty of time, like we're not as fast as that.
All right, so let's do a right turn. Let's go off this way because I don't want to go near that tower.
Okay, yeah, that looks obstacle.
Look at this guy. I just told you to do a right turn and you're already doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you should see the look on my face. I can't wait to watch that on the video every time I
The turn comes, you tighten up.
But it's an exhilaration, right? It's like excitement. How far back am I going? You got to point me because I don't.
Just continue with the turn. Right below you there is Highway 90 or ESSA Road, that's a real large road, which heads off towards Baseboard. We came from that direction over there, sort of back towards the water is where the airport that we came from is. You'll see that very large swamp.
Moving altitude.
Look at you, you've been flying the plane solid since I gave you control, you know that, huh?
Well, I'm watching our altitude too to make sure I'm not jumping or dipping too much when I turn.
Not to worry, this is all uncontrolled airspace. We're allowed to fly at any altitude we want over here. Yes.
I can't believe how much forestry there is in between the towns though, like a lot more than I would have imagined.
Oh yeah.
And I have seen Google Earth, but it's a different thing when you're looking at it like this.
Oh, this is real 3D. and in real time.
Yeah. GoPro Pro.
Approaching altitude.
So the reason why she keeps saying that, that's just the computer telling us we veered off the altitude I set. Doesn't matter though, so I just reset it to the altitude so she won't talk anymore. Yeah, when we leave the desired area by 100 feet, she'll tell you that.
That's what that is. Yeah, we were at 2,000, and I jumped us up to 2,100 over this period, obviously.
Yep.
It's hard not to look at the gauges. I find myself obsessive compulsive and wanting the numbers to stay still as they move.
It's all in time. Usually people within about 2 hours of flight training, they really get a good handle of flying straight and level.
Right.
But it is hard for a new person because your brain is not used to perceiving the world from this angle.
Right.
So it makes total sense. When we're on the ground, we see everything kind of level, so we can see where there's a mountain or a hill or a dip. Up here, we lose that perception because all we have is a horizon to really judge.
Right.
And the horizon changes. Like in the case of looking in that direction, which is west, that's an escarpment. So that's giving us a false perception, you know, that you can see the land is clearly higher than it is over here.
Right,
But right over the water is where you're seeing a true level.
And living in Niagara, I'm used to seeing that all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe just for the sake of the video, if nothing else, we should take it up a bit and then back down a bit.
So all you want to do is start pulling that stick towards you gently. I'll mind the throttle.
And how high are we going to go?
What do you feel like going?
25?
Sure, let's go to 25. So as you're climbing up, I'm starting to add power to the engine to help us climb. It's just like a car. As you're going up the hill, you just put your foot harder on the gas pedal. All I did was pick up speed with the engine. There we go.
At about 500 feet a minute, right?
Yep.
And there we go. 2,500.
So just start pitching forward.
I can level it out. We'll
As I feel the plane leveling out, I'll start backing the throttle off. If I leave the throttle up, you'll notice the plane continues to fly, even that you're trying to level the nose. So that's why I want to back down to my cruise RPM.
Oh, I see.
So this aircraft likes to cruise anywhere from 4,600 RPM to about 5,000.
Yeah.
Once I'm above 5,000, I'm clearly in a climb RPM setting.
Now, forgive me if I missed it, if you said already, how many hours of flight training is it going to take to get licensed on average?
Well, see, I can give you different pitches, but when it comes down to it, from what I've seen in the industry, usually if you're committed, about 25 hours of flight training.
Okay, so you did say that, yeah. And that's not, I mean, we'll have been up for, you know, whatever amount.
Half hour at least now.
Call it an hour.
Yeah, so we're up for an hour,
Unreal. How much non-flight training is there?
We do a 20-hour ground school.
Yeah.
So that can be done with me, or it can, like with my school, or it can also be done online. There's numerous reputable schools in Canada that Transport Canada will honor their ground school certificate. It all depends on what type of person you are. Some people like to log on at night on their iPad and do it from home on their couch.
Right.
And other people really want that one-on-one or classroom environment where you can bounce questions off the instructor, where you have the blackboard and the PowerPoint going and we talk about things.
Right.
But you know, you're still going to get the same thing from an online ground school except for that interaction one-on-one. But even some of them are trying to solve that problem, some of the online ground schools, with having open message chats. So you can talk with other students during you're watching the videos or ask the instructors questions.
Like University of Phoenix?
I guess so. I've never tried it. So we're getting close to the airport.
Right.
That being the case, let's take this thing and we'll go that way.
Okay.
Take a left. Look at this guy. You've been flying on a solid for a good 15 minutes. I haven't touched the stick at all.
And how far can I go?
With this aircraft?
This is about a comfortable level. I wouldn't want to turn much more than this.
Yeah, you're turning pretty steep right now. You can go a lot more, but we're not going to do that today.
Yeah. We'll keep it tame for today.
Yeah, in this aircraft, we're able to do 4 Gs of loading on this thing safely. We're not going to get into that, though. That's 4 times your body weight in a turn. We can do stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'd rather not do that. This is an introductory flight.
I'll worry about math another day.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, the purpose of the introductory is definitely not to scare anybody. I want everybody to see that flying is enjoyable and possible to do.
It's unbelievable how comfortable I've been the whole time. Now, part of it is probably because, I mean, we've talked about this before. I know you've been flying for as long as I've known you anyway. So I'm surprised that I wasn't a little more nervous. But
I'll take that as a compliment.
There's nothing like that takeoff. My God. I just love the rush. You know, the push.
Yeah. So let's take this back in the direction of the airport. So we'll take a right-hand turn. And as you do that, you'll do your very first descent.
Okay. At the same time?
No, let's finish the turn.
Okay.
For the first lesson, we're going to keep it very, very simple. You have actually really good control of this. You'd be surprised how many people I get up with in the air the first time and they overreact on the stick and they really move it left and right, side to side a lot. You're very, very measured in your turns.
I'm being very delicate.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue straight in this direction. Now you can take the nose of the plane by pushing the stick forward gently and start pitching it forward. While you do that, I'm going to slowly release some throttle.
Right.
So I'm slowing the engine down. The reason why I'm doing that is I don't want the engine to overspeed because we're taking load off it. It's just like going down the hill in your car. Take your foot off the gas, let it coast.
And what's a comfortable descent rate? I'm at 700 feet a minute now.
Well, it's all preference. I wouldn't even worry about that, Gage.
Okay.
This is more important. Our airspeed is most important.
Right.
So that being the case, as long as we're in the 80s and 90s, that's nice and comfortable for knots. We can scream this thing all the way up to there, but we're not going to do that.
I can see we're already approaching 2100.
So we're going to go to 17. 1,700 feet.
And the reason for that?
Because that is the circuit height that we have to be in to enter a landing procedure at the airport. We have to be 1,000 feet above the airport to enter this pattern. So we did a good descent. You probably felt your ears.
A little bit.
So start pulling back on the stick before we get there. If not, we'll keep going down.
I see, yeah.
See how it keeps going down?
A little bit late, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Now I've added some power. We're back to our cruise power. You're leveled back at 1,700 feet.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to make an announcement to the airport, and we are going to fly right over top of that airport.
Okay.
And Edenvale traffic, SportStar, India, Juliet, Kilo Yankee is 3 miles south of the field, inbound for landing, going to cross overhead the field and join him mid-left downwind for 13.
So we'll do a right
Dylan,
turn.
1 mile east, headed west, level 2.7, quarter mile to the north of the airport.
All right, Bill, I'll keep an eye out for you, but yeah, we're just entering into the downwind one after we cross over.
Very nice. Look at this guy.
Edenvale traffic, welcome Golf Papa Whiskey, 5 miles.
See, it's not perfect.
Field.
Little more.
Sending through 2,200. We'll field, applying the field, stand on the dead side, back cross, join mid downwind for 13 Golf Papa Whiskey.
Yeah, but I have a hard time believing that you've only flown a plane now for 20 minutes and you're already putting us into the circuit.
Yeah, it's hard to not stare at the gauges, I'll admit.
Just peek at them once in a while for a reference check. I want your eyes outside of the cockpit. Enjoy the scenery. Because eventually we want to program your brain to recognize high altitude, pitch, roll, and you won't get that by looking at the instruments. So the reason why we're doing this, first of all, it's the law, it's the procedure, but it gives us an opportunity to also look at the runway to make sure there's no obstructions on it. We get a chance to look at the windsock, see the direction that it's blowing in. And I have to make another announcement.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet, Kilo Yankees overhead the field to join him mid-left downwind, 13.
So we're going to continue flying in this direction about 3/4 of a mile. So we just kind of went right over top of the airport at a 90-degree angle.
And this is the part where, if I understand right, so planes have to do kind of a, not a circle, but an oval, like around and line up to get to their runway if it's their turn. This airport's not that busy, but...
Correct. Yeah, we call it the circuit in Canada. The Americans call it the pattern.
Okay.
It's just semantics. But it's the same deal. So I'm just looking back at the airport, seeing roughly how far we've flown past it. Okay, so we're about the area. Yeah, we're about the area where we want to start a left-hand turn.
Okay.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet, Kilo Yankees, turning mid-left downwind, 13, full stop.
Wow.
But after you complete this turn, we're essentially going to be doing a turn to a 90-degree angle, and we will see that runway right off our left wing, and we'll be flying parallel to that runway when the turn is finished. Now you can level your wings here. That's it, straighten her out. Perfect. Now we're in the downwind.
Wow.
Look out your left and have a look where that runway is. It should be right where that yellow stripe is on the wing.
Yep.
So that means we're in the perfect distance away from that runway to be in the downwind leg. That's what we call this part of the flight. So try not to climb the aircraft. Go back to 1,700 feet. We'll keep it going. That's it. Nice and straight. In a way, we kind of forget about the runway here. All right, so now we're going to do a look over to our left, see where that runway is. Once we reach about 45-degree angle from the edge of that runway, we're going to make another left turn.
I'm going to let you tell me when, though.
Yeah, right around here.
Okay.
Eastbound traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, turning left base, 13.
We'll put the nose forward a little bit. We don't want to slow down too much. That's it.
So climbing a little
Awesome. You're doing amazing. This is great. All right, so we're going to straighten her out. So this is where it gets busy. I'll take over from here because it's your first flight.
Yeah.
So this is where we're going to slow the aircraft down. And we're preparing for our landing here.
Wow.
Got the aircraft nice and slow. I'm able to actuate my flaps. There's 15 degrees of flaps. Nose down, nice safe airspeed of 65.
Edenvale traffic, all Papa Whiskey, half mile.
Wow.
East of the field, the overflying field, descending to the right side. Back across the turn, that mid downwind, 13.
There's 30 degrees of flaps. So nice, 65, holding nice and straight. You see the aircraft directly 90 degrees to our left, the airport directly 90 degrees to our left. And I'll begin doing our final turn.
Eastbound traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankees, turning final, 13, full stop.
And there's the ground.
Wow.
So from here, it's just about controlling airspeed. I'm controlling airspeed and the descent by using my throttle, really. So right now, we're barely even on the gas pedal at all, essentially. Holding a nice 60 all the way in.
And just for clarification, you've used the pedals the whole time. I haven't touched those today.
No, I wasn't using the pedals at all for our flight because it was fairly stable. I didn't need it too much.
Okay.
Only now I started using them for the landing.
Right. Sorry, meaning I haven't touched them for the first lesson.
Correct.
And then we'll get into those when.
Wow, you can't ask for a smoother night than this. Like, this is awesome.
Wow.
Get us over into the center here. All power's off on the engine, and we're just flying over top of this runway until she wants to sit down. I'm trying to fly it as long as I can.
Ah.
There we go.
Wow.
Camera's vibrating all over the place.
Oh, that's... And it's that easy.
It's that easy.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, down and clear, active 13 on Delta to the main ramp.
Now look at that. You flew plane.
I did. There you go.
25 minutes without me doing anything other than talking to you.
Yeah.
How did that feel, Kev?
That's unbelievable. It's hard. I mean, like I said, the comfort level, just, you know, probably because I know you've been at this long enough that I don't have any concern, and it's hard to believe, even coming here in the beginning, I'm going to fly a plane today, and now I've already flown a plane. And to be honest with you, it's actually a lot more comfortable than I would have imagined.
Yeah.
You know, there's a thought in me like, oh my God, what's this going to be like? And it's a lot smoother than I would have guessed.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, I understand there's a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions because over the years, there's been a lot of fly-by-nights in this industry, all over, especially when you see movies. You see somebody take a plane ride and it scares the hell out of them, or they vomit. You know, something crazy because there's some crazy wacko flying the plane, and it gives it a bad name. And people think that that's what their flight experience will be like. Well, no, you can make it as gentle as you want, and for people who are more, ready for a little bit more of a thrill, of course, we can do steep returns. By no means am I going to do anything aerobatic, but you can definitely keep it exciting. And just like a car, you put it to bed.
Unbelievable. All right, thank you, Bill. I can't believe we did this.
No problem, man. My pleasure.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching the video. That was unbelievable. So thanks to Bill Dykie and Xstream Sport Aviation. You can find them at learntoflycanada.com. And for now, don't forget to comment on the video, like it, please share it, and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you the next time. I'm Kevin Kaye from KevinKaye.com.